Gun stores control what you see, what you handle, and ultimately what you buy. But 6 pistols have disappeared from those shelves. Not because they failed. Not because the market moved on. The reason is more uncomfortable than that, and it says everything about how this industry actually operates. These guns exist. The stores just won't tell you about them. This video is for educational purposes only and does not promote harm or unsafe use of firearms. Number 6. Colt Defender, 1911. When gun stores start pulling certain pistols off shelves or slowing their availability, it's rarely about weakness. It's usually about demand, legacy pressure, and models that refuse to fade away quietly. The Colt Defender 1911 is one of those rare compact handguns that seems to exist outside normal supply cycles. It doesn't stay available for long because it carries something modern pistols often struggle to replicate: timeless mechanical authority. Built by Colt's manufacturing company, the Defender is a shortened evolution of the legendary 1911 platform, designed for concealed carry without losing its steel-framed identity. This isn't a polymer experiment or a lightweight trend piece. It's heritage engineering compressed into a compact defensive form. At first glance, it feels different from modern striker-fired pistols. The weight, the balance, the grip angle, it all communicates control before you even chamber a round. The single-action trigger is where it truly separates itself. Crisp, predictable, almost mechanical in its precision, like a system refined over a century of real-world use. But here's the deeper reason it stands out: the shooting experience. Recoil doesn't feel chaotic. It feels guided. Number 5. Shadow Systems DR-920. When a pistol starts disappearing from shelves or becomes harder to source, it usually means one thing: it's crossing the line from popular into high-demand performance weapon. The Shadow Systems DR-920 sits exactly in that category. It didn't just enter the striker-fired market, it disrupted it with a design philosophy built around refinement rather than compromise. Built by Shadow Systems, the DR-920 is engineered as a duty-grade combat pistol with a focus on modularity, optics integration, and enhanced control. It feels like it was designed by shooters who were tired of upgrading factory guns piece by piece and decided to build the solution from the ground up. At first hold, the grip immediately tells you this isn't a standard production handgun. The texture is aggressive but intelligent, locking into the hand without feeling abrasive. The frame geometry encourages a natural point of aim, reducing the need to correct your stance under pressure. But here's where it becomes serious: the internal tuning. The DR-920 comes pre-optimized for performance. Trigger geometry, slide cut, and recoil system all feel like they've already been customized out of the box. The trigger breaks clean with a short reset, giving it a rhythm that feels almost competition-inspired in a defensive platform. On the range, it tracks flat. Recoil is controlled, predictable, and fast to recover from, which is exactly what makes it dangerous in real-world scenarios. It doesn't just fire, it stays aligned, ready for the next shot without hesitation. Number 4. Walther PDP Compact. When a pistol starts becoming harder to find on shelves, it's usually not because it failed. It's because it set a standard people keep coming back to. The Walther PDP Compact is exactly that kind of firearm, quietly dominating conversations among shooters who care more about performance than hype. The PDP line was designed with one obsession: shooting confidence. Walther didn't just build another striker-fired compact, they engineered a platform around grip, ergonomics, and optic-ready performance from the ground up. The result is a handgun that feels like it's already aligned with your natural point of aim before you even confirm your sights. At first contact, the grip texture stands out immediately. It's aggressive, almost industrial, locking your hand in place like a tactical tool rather than a polished consumer product. That grip is paired with a frame shape that naturally drives the muzzle forward, reducing unwanted movement during recoil. But here's where the PDP Compact changes the game: the trigger. Walther is known for trigger refinement, and this one breaks with a clean, decisive wall and a reset that feels extremely tactile. It's not subtle, it's intentional. Every press feels like a controlled mechanical event, not a surprise. On the range, the pistol stays flat and predictable. Recoil management is one of its strongest traits, especially for a compact platform. Fast follow-up shots feel less like recovery and more like continuation, which is exactly what defensive shooting demands under stress. Number 3. SIG Sauer P. 229 Legion. When certain pistols start becoming harder to find, it's rarely random. It usually means they've crossed into a category where demand is driven by reputation, not advertising. The SIG Sauer P229 Legion is one of those rare handguns that sits in that elite space where duty history meets modern refinement. The Legion series was built as a premium evolution of proven service pistols. And the P229 is already a legend in law enforcement circles. Compact, metal-framed, and brutally consistent, it was designed for agencies and professionals who needed absolute reliability in unpredictable environments. At first hold, you immediately feel the difference from polymer platforms. The weight isn't a drawback, it's control. The alloy frame gives the pistol a grounded, stable presence that naturally reduces recoil movement and improves shot discipline under stress. But here's where the Legion treatment changes everything: the tuning. Enhanced controls, refined trigger system, and elite-grade finishing turn the P229 into something that feels pre-customized from the factory. The trigger brake is crisp, with a short, authoritative reset that encourages controlled rapid fire without losing precision. On the range, it behaves like a mechanical anchor. Recoil is soft for its size class, and the muzzle rise is predictable, almost repetitive in a way that builds confidence over time. Number 2. Springfield XDM Elite Compact. When certain pistols start disappearing from shelves, it's usually because they hit a sweet spot. Most manufacturers struggle to maintain high capacity, real-world durability, and a price point that keeps serious shooters coming back. The Springfield Armory XDM Elite Compact is exactly that kind of weapon. This isn't a pistol built for hype, it's built for function, under pressure. The XDM Elite line was designed as an evolution of the XD platform, refined with better ergonomics, improved triggers, and magazine capacity that pushes the limits of what a compact frame can realistically handle. At first grip, it feels substantial, but controlled. The grip texture is deep and aggressive, locking into the hand with a confidence that matters when conditions aren't perfect. The high undercut and natural grip angle help bring the sights into alignment quickly, almost instinctively, reducing wasted motion when drawing under stress. But here's where it starts to stand out: the trigger system. Springfield refined it into a much cleaner, shorter break compared to older XD generations. The reset is noticeable and tactical, giving the shooter a rhythm that supports fast, controlled follow-up shots without feeling unpredictable. On the range, the XDM Elite Compact stays composed. The recoil impulse is manageable, slightly snappy due to its compact size, but well-controlled thanks to frame geometry and weight distribution. It doesn't wander off target, it returns to it. Number 1. Smith & Wesson CSX. When a modern pistol carries a name like Chief Special, it isn't just branding, it's a direct link to a legacy built in the hands of professionals who needed absolute trust in their sidearm. The Smith & Wesson CSX takes that heritage and compresses it into a compact, modern defensive platform that feels both familiar and completely different at the same time. The CSX stands out immediately because it breaks the trend of striker-fired dominance. Instead, it returns to a hammer-fired, single-action-inspired system in a micro-compact frame. See, that alone gives it a distinct identity in a market flooded with similar designs. It feels intentional, like a decision made to preserve control and trigger character over simplicity. At first grip, the aluminum frame gives it a solid, almost real tool feeling in the hand. It's light enough for daily carry but dense enough to inspire confidence. The grip texture is aggressive without being uncomfortable, designed to stay locked in place when your hands aren't perfect and your heartbeat isn't calm. But here's where it becomes interesting: the trigger. The CSX delivers a crisp, clean break with a tactile reset that feels more mechanical and deliberate than most polymer micro-compacts. It doesn't have the sponginess some striker systems struggle with. It has definition, structure, and intent behind every press. On the range, recoil is sharp but controlled. The metal frame helps manage snap, keeping the muzzle predictable during rapid fire. It's not the softest shooting compact, but it rewards proper technique with precision and repeatability. Outro. And that's why these pistols are disappearing faster than they can be stocked. Not because they're outdated, but because demand keeps outpacing supply. Each one carries a legacy of trust, control, and real-world performance. Now, the question is simple: if chaos arrives tomorrow, which one would you actually trust?